Hey, it's Monday. How you doing? Let's see. I was at Burka this past weekend, and I'm exhausted and barely holding on here. A little frayed at the edges and tired and out of sorts, but I had a wonderful time. I didn't sell any books, but that's okay. I actually had a lot of people talking to me about the cookbook that's coming up, and that was actually really exciting because one of the things that I mention in the cookbook are the spices that we use. And a lot of the spices that we use come from vendors who are at Burka, because if you're going to go shop at a medieval market, of course you're going to stop and pick up your spices because, well, that's what you do when you go to the medieval market. So I had the opportunity to stop in and talk to Auntie Arwen of Auntie Arwen Spices, and she is a well-researched herbalist, if you will, spice lady. She creates both historical blends and more modern blends of herbs and spices that are fantastically delicious. If any of you are on my regular Facebook page, you'll know that I occasionally post images. I'm on camera, right? Okay. I post images of the gallon size of Auntie Arwen's garlic explosion, garlic insanity. Um, I got that at Mass Ren Fair, which was in last week of July, first week of August last year, and it's half empty, folks. It's half empty, and I haven't like given away vast amounts of it. Just about 6 tablespoons worth to a couple of friends, like total. The rest of it is used by me. So Auntie Arwen, first off, is an accomplished herbalist. I mean, the spices that she has are absolutely beyond compare. I love her stuff. She actually won the Baron's Choice Award for Best Merchant at Burka this year. This is a new thing that we're doing at Burka to recognize the merchants and all the work that they put in, because honestly, we would not have Burka without merchants. And so it was pretty spectacular. Um, but I also picked up, because I always have to get something from Auntie Arwen's. It wouldn't be Burka otherwise. Since I had enough garlic insanity this year to last me through until Ren Fair season, I picked up a modern blend which had a name which made me smile. It's called Crazy Ivan, which of course makes a difference to us because our household is called Serenity, which is after the show Firefly. And the Crazy Ivan is the stunt that uh, Wash pulls to rescue them from reavers coming off of a planet. And I bought it. I honestly, I didn't even open the jar to smell it. I looked at the title and I went, I don't care, I'm buying it. And I mean, I got the laughs and the jokes from everybody in the household. But when we smelled it and tasted it, oh, I think it might be my new favorite modern spice blend. It's delish. And a lot of the stuff in it is very period. It's just that um, it wouldn't have been used in that combination, and so I'm not doing. I won't use that in my medieval cooking, but I'll sure be using it in my dinner tonight. Let me tell you. Um, in case anybody didn't know, happy birthday to me, by the way. Yesterday was my birthday. Every year they give me a burqa. Isn't that fantastic? I'm so lucky. I got so many fun things from people. Thank you all. And like right down from the amazing, gorgeous silver wolf head brooch that I got from my boyfriend, right down to the phenomenal hugs and kisses and loves from my friends. It was the best birthday. It really was. But cookbook. Sorry, I'm squirreling. I apologize. And I'm yawning again. I don't know what it is. I turn the camera on. I don't yawn all day, and then I turn the camera on and I yawn. Okay. So the cookbook is coming along. I have a little bit more of the formatting process to do with the second Alex book. Once that's done, I'll be putting all of my attentions onto the cookbook, and I'll be chugging along on that. I expect that to come along fairly quickly. The second book, the content editing is completely done. At this point, we're just at the point where we're formatting, getting cover art, the technical details. All the writing part is done. The hard part is done now. We're just playing with the technicalities. The cookbook is going to be a whole different thing. I have a subject matter expert helping me put together the layout for the book so that it will go in and look nice when it's on the page. It will be a slightly larger format than a fictional book because, of course, it's not a fictional book. And I expect that it'll look very nice when it's done. It will have a color cover, but black and white inside. There will be a few photos, but not very many. Pictures of food don't translate that great to black and white, in my very strong opinion. So the only pictures that will be in there are ones that really were so exceptionally good that I couldn't not put them in. I had to. But the recipes are all there. I'm very excited. And I talk a lot about the spices in there. Auntie Arwen is a supplier of many of the spices that we use. And the second place that we get spices was the other place that I visited when I was at Burka, which is the Spice Merchants Guild in the SCA. And they sell at Burka and I think at Penzic, if I remember rightly. And they do some stuff online. They don't do blends, so you can go and buy like whole Telecorny long peppers. You can buy whole white pepper. You can buy whole cardamom pods, that kind of thing. You can buy single herbs. So if you want to make your own, for instance, curry blend, they have all the different spices that would have been put into a curry blend, but you will be obligated to do the actual blending yourself. And if you are doing a display, having those single spices out so that people can see what each one smells like by itself, and then understanding that those blend together to make garam masala or shawarma or whatever else. It helps people to understand the process, because especially in North America, we have people who are used to, when you want to buy curry, it's that yellow shit in a jar, right? Except that that's not what curry is. Curry is a description of a type of dish, and the powders that go into it are varied. And it really depends on what part of India you're in. Some parts of Asia do curry. I mean, it's crazy, and it's very individual. So I like being able to show people the individual spices, but I also know that there are a lot of people out there who just want to do the recipe and freeze it and take it along to heat up when they get to Penzic or to Great Northeastern War or to Mass Ren Fair. And for those people, I highly recommend going to Auntie Arwen and buy the blends pre-made, because her stuff is so good and her prices are very good, in my strong opinion. It's a little pricier than like grocery store, but you're getting so much better quality that I can't even begin to describe it. If you don't believe me, ask. I will open up the jars and let you smell the difference. There's just no comparison whatsoever. Those herbs are really the center of what we do as cooks and as medieval reenactors when we're doing the kitchen part. The fact that we can get them from a few different places is wonderful. Sometimes you'll get better spices, certain types of spices one place, and I get all my curry blends and a couple of other like herb de Provence and things like that from Auntie Arwen. Hers are just, they're AAA. You can't get better. On the other hand, if I want to get mace, okay, I learned about mace yesterday at the fair. So mace comes from the same plant as nutmeg does, and I didn't know that. So here's a new thing that I've learned, and then I can then teach at Ren Fairs, which is awesome. But the fruit comes up from the plant, and it has like a leathery outside, and then there's the fruit part, and then there's a covering, and then there's the seed, and the seed is the nutmeg, and the covering over the seed is the mace. And I never really thought of them. I've only ever seen mace as a powder, and so being able to see it all looking like little peeled bits of orange skin almost. It's kind of a yellowy color, and it's almost paper thin. It looks like, I don't know, it just looks like bits and bobs. and being able to smell that and smell, yes, there's kind of a nutmeggy smell there, but it's not exact. And I understand now why they're different spices. So stuff like that, when you want to, especially if you're wanting to show it off, it's really nice because you get the opportunity to have that um, set out. When I set out my mace this coming year, if you come to visit us at one of the Ren fairs that we're at, you'll be able to see those are our stuff is all there, and I'm really excited about it because you'll be able to pick up the little pieces of mace and smell them and even taste them if you want, because I have no problems with that. I think it's really exciting and happy making. Um, sorry, I'm like looking up one of our things here. I need to get to our web page, and I can't spell Serenity. There we are. Um, so I wanted to give you guys our dates for the year because we actually have dates for the year, and that makes me happy. So here we go. Serenity is in a variety of places this summer, just so you're aware. I personally will be at the main Ren Fair for the first weekend. I will be doing a little bit of cooking and a little bit of herbal display with the Brotherhood of the Arrow and Sword. So if you pop over to the Knights Fighting area, you can stop by the campfire and see what I'm cooking and talk with me. And if you want to talk about the cookbook, I will happily do so. I think that is, let's see, that is the first weekend of the main Renaissance Fair is July 18th and 19th. Before that, we'll be at the New Hampshire Renaissance Fair, which is May 9th and 10th and 16th and 17th. So that's the second and third weekend of May. Yes, it's a little chilly, and sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate, but I got to tell you, it's Mother's Day weekend is the first weekend. It's so much fun. So many people bring their moms, and you can get your mom a rose from the Pretty Rose Cellar, and you can take her out and get her a big turkey leg. And I mean, you can't beat that. Dress your mom up like a princess and bring her on out to the fair, and I'll talk all sorts of cool spice stuff with her. After that, we'll be at an SCA event called the Great Northeastern War. That's July 9th through the 12th. We have the Massachusetts Renaissance Fair, which is July 25th and 26th, and August 1st and 2nd. So last weekend of July, first weekend of August. We will be there for both weekends. I don't know. I should be there both weekends because I have a kid who's vending there. So if I'm not there, things could get kind of wiggy, but we'll see what happens. But Serenity will definitely be there. We will be supporting the Knights of Lord Talbot, and so you'll be able to see us around their fire, and that should be a lot of fun. We also will be at Harper's Retreat, which is an SCA event from September 4th through 7th, and that's in Richmond, New Hampshire. If you have never been to an SCA event but you wanted to give it a try, Harper's is a really nice choice. It's at a camp. You can get a cabin, so if you don't have a tent, it's not a big deal. We have a gold key, which means you can borrow an outfit if you don't have anything appropriate. And we have a feast, and we have music. We have actually a whole Harper's gathering, and there's a big Bardic celebration, and there's cooking, and so much goes on. And it's a very kind of, people have gotten very low key about it. It's very relaxed. We have court, but it's pretty simple, and it's not very long, and everybody's pretty chill about it. It's a fantastic first event. And if you have kids, it's a great kids event because we have kids stuff, and we have swimming. There's a swimming area down there, and there's kids fighting, and there's crafts, and they can run wild. And there's, it's held at a YMCA camp, so you can't go wrong with that. After that, we'll be at the Fitchburg Forge-In, which is in September, but we don't have a date for that yet. And the Fitzwilliam Fantasy Fair, which is in October, but again, we don't have a date for that. We were at Burka this past weekend. I'll be at the main Renaissance Fair, which is July 18th and 19th. And the fair will be there the week after, as well as Brotherhood, but I will not be. I will probably be at the Massachusetts Renaissance Fair. I know that the SCA is having an event called Paleo Palio de Stone Marsh, which is another child-friendly event. There's a lot of games and a lot of kid-oriented stuff. That is in early June, and I don't have the dates, but I'll put them up on our webpage so that everybody knows. Um, and there may be an April event that I might put together, but it will be just a day thing where people bring their own food, and I'm looking at doing maybe a hayride or something like that locally. I will let you know what we end up doing. Um, that's our schedule so far. Things, of course, can change depending on weather and emergencies and funds and what we get invited to. I know we've been invited to join the Knights of Lord Talbot at a Connecticut fair the weekend of May 31st. Some of us might be going to that, and I'm not sure if I know I can't, but others might. So stay tuned, and I will bring you up to date on that as we get the information. um, my hope is still very high for having the cookbook out for all those events so that you can pick a copy up and go home and try cooking the stuff that you smell over my fire um, on your own stove or in your backyard fire pit or wherever you want to make it. I am really excited, and what I'm hoping is that those of you who get the cookbook and go home and try things will come and talk to us about it. Tell us how it turned out. Tell us how you like the flavors, what you would change. Feedback is a great thing, and anything that you share, we'll share with the fans, and that way everybody gets to enjoy it. I think it's a great way to make community because let's be honest, the best place for community is around the kitchen table. You can't beat it. Food is something we all enjoy. Everybody has to eat food, and that's just the way it is. So there we go. I've been keeping you guys together for almost 18 minutes now. I'm going to let you go, but I want to say thank you to everybody who came to visit me and say happy birthday, Burka, because you guys are all awesome. I love you. And I'll see you next Monday. And, stay tuned for updates on Alex when the book goes live, even if it's midweek and it's not a Monday or if it's on the weekend, I will still come online and I will announce it. So you'll get your video when the book comes out, and you'll get another one when I get my first shipment of books in and have them in my hot little hands and I can hold them up and show you the actual book. Because I have to say, as an author, it's not real until you hold it in your hand. And then all of a sudden it's really too real. So, yeah. All right. You guys have a great week. Do good things. Be good to each other. Eat well. And, come talk to me about Alex and talk to me about where your fictional characters are at. I love you all, and I'll see you next week, okay? Bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.